Hello everybody, and in today's video I'm going to be making eggplant parmesan. I wanted a healthier option to one of my favorite meals, which is lasagna, so I decided to try my hand at this. I tried it a couple years ago, but it didn't turn out as good as it did this time. So I used 3 melon, and I started off by peeling it. Someone was telling me that I shouldn't have peeled it because all the nutrients and everything is stored up in the skin. So next time around, I think I would not peel it. I partially peeled this one, and then I peeled the other 2 fully. So you want to slice it in about half inch in thickness is good enough, so that you know it's not going to like mash up when it's time to take it out of the pan and further layer it. So I was not a lover of melon at all. Like you could not, when I was younger, you couldn't get me to even look at this. But as I grew older, I gave it a try and I love it now. So for this next step, I placed some salt. I sprinkled some salt and some black pepper and some peri-peri seasoning over it. Salt only is just fine for this step. The salt is supposed to draw the moisture out of it, which will keep it from tasting bitter. And then I left it to rest for like about 15 minutes. And then I placed it in the oven on 400 degrees for an additional 15 minutes. Let's say 15 to 20 minutes. And then I worked on the tomato sauce. So in a pan, I put a little bit of oil with some onions, some pimentos, some garlic. And I opted to use tomato paste as opposed to tomato sauce because it's a bit cheaper than the ready-made tomato sauce. This bottle of tomato paste is $8. And I stretched it a bit by filling some water in the said jar, that same jar, and adding it to the paste. And then I just seasoned this up, and that was it for my sauce. Then I went on to season the sauce. I added peri-peri seasoning, some black pepper, some paprika, parsley flakes, and some lemon pepper. You can choose to add whatever seasonings you like, but I didn't put too much. I put some salt, but I didn't put too much because the peri-peri seasoning has salt in it also. Stirred it up a bit and left it to simmer for a couple minutes, and that was it for the sauce. Initially I wasn't going to add any meat to this, but I decided to last minute, so I just fried up some minced beef in a separate pan, and then I incorporated it into the sauce, and I put it aside. And then I worked on my cheese filling. So for the cheese filling, you're gonna add 2 eggs. The eggs are totally optional for those of you who don't eat eggs. I used 2 eggs, about half of this container of ricotta cheese. This is my first time actually cooking with ricotta cheese. I also read that there are a lot of health benefits when using ricotta cheese. Well, with eating ricotta cheese, there are a lot of health benefits. It's actually one of the more healthier cheeses to consume as opposed to cheddar, which I'm using right now, and Parmesan cheese, which I am about to put in the bowl also. You can also just use 1 cheese. I was just feeling to be a little extra now, right? Which is why I used 3 cheeses, and I love Parmesan cheese. As you can see, that bottle finished and I opened a new bottle. I really love Parmesan cheese. I put Parmesan cheese on everything. Salads, bread, everything. I then mixed this up and I found that the consistency was a little bit too thick. I thought that the 2 eggs would have been enough. I didn't want to add another egg, so I added some almond milk to this. I also added some fresh green seasoning there, as you can see, and I used some almond milk. If you're trying your best these days, so try not to use full cream milk for a while, because I love, you see, milk, cheese, mayonnaise, those are my 3 middle names. Yeah. I then seasoned up the cheese filling with further seasoned it with some parsley flakes and some paprika. This step is also optional. I wasn't even following a recipe, I was just going with the flow, and I just thought that adding it would have made it taste a little better. And then by this time, the melangen was finished roasting, so I took it out and I removed it from the pan. You can see there that it's much softer. I should have left it in for a little longer, because what happened, and you will see in the end, it was a little tough to cut, like to slice. It wasn't hard or anything, but I believe if I left it in a little longer, it would have been easier to cut and separate into slices. That piece wasn't coming out, and then I was like, you know what, let me just leave it, because I'm going to put it back in the pan anyways. See me there struggling to take it out, and I was like, you know what, just forget it. Right, so now for this part, this is the fun part. It's the part where we fill it. So we start to layer first the tomato and meat sauce, then cheese, then I put some seasoning, and repeat. So I'll be honest when I say I think I put a little bit too much cheese in between. Yeah, I love cheese, but I went a little overboard here. So next time I think I will use a little less cheese. And as I said, it was the first time working with ricotta cheese, so I wasn't sure how, rich it was, but it is rich. And I even added cheese on top, but it still tasted really good. I will make it again. I'll just add less cheese next time. I had some remaining and I put that in a bowl. Could use it to make something else, but this was the final product. This was the end. Listen, I am going to make this again, probably before the month finish. I will make this, and you will see in the way I'm trying to cut it with the fork, it's a little tough. Yeah, I'll leave it to roast in the oven for a little longer next time. But thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you try it.